It takes less than 60 seconds. From the backseat of a van, this hooded and masked man slaps a skimming device on an ATM in Dauphin County and then drives away.
It can happen at an ATM, it happened at a gas station.
Last week, Fulton Bank confirmed to News 8 on your side that skimming devices have been found on several of its ATMs in the Susquehanna Valley. But Fulton Bank is not being singled out here. Skimming devices are being found on bank ATMs all across the country. Many of the skimmers attach to the outside of the ATM near the card slot. And if you look hard enough, you may spot some glue or some kind of sticky substance.
When you come up to the ATM, touch the card slot, feel it. Does it move? Does it wiggle?
But some of the more sophisticated skimmers cannot be spotted because they are paper thin like this one, and they actually fit inside the card slot.
You may see a little piece of fishing string or a little piece of wire coming out or a little metal tab so they can withdraw it. But if you don't look for it, you may not see it at all.
Tonight, the 8 on Your Side investigation into a crime that just keeps happening, skimming devices stealing credit card numbers.
Consumer reporter Brian Roach is working all the angles of this story for you tonight, and he shows you what to look for at ATM gas pumps so that you don't get ripped off.
I've heard lots of different scams.
Melissa McNally contacted News 8 after seeing something suspicious on a gas pump near her home.
First I went like this, and I could see it moving, and it looked like a piece of tape in there.
Melissa thought she'd encountered a credit card skimmer, the kind that News 8 has been reporting on.
I thought, oh, this is it. This is one of those skimmers that were on TV.
Melissa then reported what she saw to the manager of this Turkey Hill store, and the pump was shut down for 2 days. Tuesday, News 8 was there as company technicians opened the machine to examine the credit card reader. We were also allowed to examine the machine, and as it turned out, it had not been tampered with. But Turkey Hill was glad that Melissa reported what she saw, and the company encourages other customers to do the same. Protect yourself and take a second before you use any card reader. For example, walk up to something like this, grab it, and if it moves around, chances are it's a skimmer. Also take a good close look at it. For example, this is a legitimate reader. This is what a skimming device may look like. It doesn't have any decals on it. Card skimmers are often made from parts of real credit card readers, so you may not see the difference right away. But if you don't take a moment to notice something unusual, you may notice something missing from your bank account. What Melissa did is what you should do if you think you find a skimmer in place. Report it to the bank or the business that's involved. Do not attempt to remove the skimmer yourself. And do not think this will not happen to you. Right now, we are aware of at least a dozen local police departments in our area that are investigating these cases, so that means there's a lot of victims out there. Don't be one of them.
Thank you for making us aware of this.
On Your Side team keeps following crimes that put your credit card number at risk. A federal grand jury in Harrisburg has indicted 3 New York men accused of trying to use nearly 100 stolen credit cards in Mechanicsburg, Cumberland County. Investigators say the men bought or tried to buy items at more than 6 businesses along the Carlisle Pike in September of 2014.
The theft of credit card numbers is a crime that 8 on Your Side consumer reporter Brian Roach has been investigating. Brian's working with police and businesses to make sure you don't get ripped off. And tonight, he gives us a closer look at how skimmers make a copy of your credit card.
Whether you swipe your card or insert your card, there is a skimming device for sale on the internet that can capture your card information. 8 on Your Side found dozens of skimmers for sale online outside of the U.S. Many are made from replacement parts for real ATMs or card readers that are used at gas pumps. That makes them harder to spot. Most skimmers are overlay skimmers, meaning they sit on top of or are attached to the outside of the card reader. This kind of skimmer can often be detected by grabbing it and wiggling it around. Also, look for signs of glue that may be holding the skimmer in place. An insert skimmer like this is much harder to see. It's almost paper thin and actually fits inside the slot of the card reader. A tiny chip, circled here on the left, captures the card information. Some of these insert skimmers even have Bluetooth technology that can transmit the stolen card information. Using a laptop computer, the thief transfers stolen card information onto a blank card with a magnetic stripe. Then, they use those cards to make purchases at self-checkout counters where the card never leaves their hands. And as we've told you over the past few days, crooks usually install these skimmers over the weekend. That's when they stand less chance of being detected. They also like to use locations that don't have a lot of foot or vehicle traffic so they can put their scammers in place and then retrieve them a few hours later. And a question a lot of viewers are asking, do businesses and banks check? Yes, they do check for these skimmers, but they can't do it 24/7. These guys put these in place for a few hours and then they come back and take them. That's why we're showing you what they look like so you can protect yourself.
Yeah.
Now we know.
I'm going to start looking.
It just keeps happening. News 8 has learned about another crime putting your credit card numbers at risk.
Police in Manheim Township, Lancaster County say this man charged $1,400 to a bank card. The card was still in the owner's possession. Tonight, 8 on Your Side consumer reporter Brian Roach continues his investigation with a closer look at who's stealing your information.
We've shown you the pictures of suspects, and we've shown you the skimming devices they may be using on bank ATMs in the Susquehanna Valley at an alarming rate.
I can tell from reading the reports and speaking with other investigators in the area, it's frequent.
Detective Matt Dotz of the Derry Township Police tells me local skimming incidents have increased since late this summer.
It's true organized crime that's international. And then there's also an organized crime here locally.
This is Hector Montalvo Escalin, also known as Panda. A warrant has been issued for his arrest in Lancaster County. He's suspected of using or cashing out several stolen credit cards in the area. But police sources tell News 8 it's suspected that he's already left the country.
They bring people in from overseas. They put them to work here for a short amount of time, and then they send them back overseas. By the time law enforcement figures this out, the people who actually did the skimming or the cash outs are not even here.
It's unknown if Panda actually placed any skimming devices in the Susquehanna Valley, but he could be part of an organized skimmer squad.
One person will be doing the skimming, and then other people within that group will be doing the cash outs or the fraudulent transactions. So they're all related.
These are the cards the bad guys are trying to get their hands on right now, the old-fashioned magnetic stripe cards, but they could be playing a game of beat the clock. That's because with each passing day, more of these, the chip cards, are coming on the market. They could make skimmers obsolete. So in the weeks and months ahead, it's likely we're going to see a more concerted, organized effort for the crooks to get your card.
Now I need as many people as I can trust to help me so that we can maximize these cards that I've got in a short amount of time before the financial industry shuts the cards down.
So all this means you cannot let your guard down when it comes to looking for skimmers. We remind you, closely examine all of the card readers, the slots of any bank ATM or a gas pump before you use it. If anything looks out of place, do not use that machine and then report what you see. And as we've reported to you in the past, some banks are now using software to shut down ATMs that have been tampered with. And I'm hearing from a lot of people, namely these two right here, telling me they're paranoid about looking at the card ATM. I'm not going to tell you I'm sorry. I want you looking for it.
I was at the gas pump today, wiggling it, because you say if it's loose or there's anything hanging down.
Keep your money in your pocket.
Will do. Thank you, Brian.